Okay. What's up, guys? It's your boy Ice from Cosplay here with a second instalment of the Blade Files. This time we've got a cosplaying couple. So we've got John McPhee and
Eszter.
I don't want to mess your name up, so you can. All right, so we'll just jump straight in.
Sweet.
Okay. So let's begin with how long you've been cosplaying and how'd you get started?
Well, I think I'm more of the veteran than John is. I started...
Wow.
But I started way back in high school, so I must have been like 15. So I was part of an anime club at school, and we all decided one day, oh, there's this, anime expo, or rather, Armageddon. So we were like, okay, we should go and cosplay, because we'd never done it before. And of course we all fundraised, because we had no money and we were poor, and we had to, buy tickets and make costumes. And I went there, and I went as Medusa from Soul Eater, and not many people recognised me, so I was a bit sad. But it was so much fun. I really enjoyed myself, and I didn't get back into it until about 2 years later when I started uni. And that's when I kind of met some people who had already done it before, and we decided to go to the Auckland Armageddon, which is where I started to meet people from the community and really get into it for serious that time. So it really took off from there.
Okay.
Long story short, I did martial arts with the guy. His name's Mark. I love you, bro. We're massive nerds. Decided that, hey, we're going to go to Armageddon. Let's road trip it up to Auckland. Got some costumes sorted, So in like a couple of nights, did those. It was pretty good. I did Luffy, which is terrible. I redid it though. Redid it last year, right?
Well, that's because I made it.
Yeah,
Remade it for him.
Yeah, I redid it last year because someone remade it. Fine if you want to mention. It's a lot better now. But yeah, so I've been cosplaying since like, what was it, 2011, 2012, something like that. Yeah. So it's all because of Mark that I got started, and I love him, and he's a good friend, and I love you again, Mark. No homo, bro.
Mark's obviously going to get a mention in the credits too. Okay, so what are your main motivations behind the cosplays that you both do?
It would just have to probably be characters that we admire and identify.
Don't look to me for answers, because your answers are totally different from mine. Speak for yourself.
Well, you go with relatable characters, don't you?
Yeah, I do actually.
Yeah, no, I think that's a little bit of everyone's motivation to do a cosplay is, you really, maybe it's a childhood hero or something like that. And for me, it's more just like, do I identify with this character, what this character's like? And a little bit of it is to, do I look like this character? I mean, some people, I've done cosplays. I've cosplayed as guys before. So I'm pretty much completely, opposite gender even. But I see myself like, for example, Sasuke. He's got from Naruto. He's got this little bit of a troubled side, and I guess I identify with this kind of having something that you're always mulling over in your mind. Like I'm a little bit like that, so I really identify with that. So I was like, oh cool, I'm going to cosplay that character, and I really enjoyed it. So. Yeah, it really doesn't matter if it's a guy or a girl character. If I like the character, I identify with it, and if I think the costume's pretty cool, then I'm pretty keen to cosplay it.
Cool.
And for you?
I guess for me, it is, can I relate to the character, and do I relate to the character, and how much of my personality must cross over with the character's personality. So, for me, the characters I tend to pick are characters I like you said, I admire, or I tend to see a lot of myself in as well, and it really does help when they've got cool costumes as well, because it's like, yes, that's gonna look badass, that's gonna look cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is like that. There are also characters I pick with some physical resemblance as well. So
like Hwaorang.
Yeah, Hwaorang or Shanks, for example.
He just happens to have exactly the same hair color, which is like totally like cool because. Two of the characters he really likes, so that works.
Love you. Okay, so within the cosplay, obviously, because you guys are really tight in the community now.
Yeah.
Within the cosplay community, there's definitely a great sense of camaraderie. So, How do you guys find it, and what are your favourite aspects of the cosplay community in general?
Well, there's so many people, and it's really great because you meet people that you wouldn't otherwise meet, you know, from all walks of life. You know, it's just like, for example, we met through cosplay. We would have never met otherwise. We come from completely different crowds. It's just like, even though we get along so well, we have a very similar sense of humour, we have very similar interests, things like that, which initially was how we started talking.
It was drugs. It was drugs.
No, it wasn't that.
Do you have any on you?
No, but I could get you something. Like
I mean, look at this very dodgy coat. I mean, you could...
like to, yeah.
It was actually, it's funny, because we kind of, he'd added me after Armageddon Expo. We hadn't actually met in person. I think we'd briefly seen each other.
Like how we got together? Is
well,
it more like the answering the question thing?
Well, I'm just saying that you meet people.
Yeah, I was going to say, how much are you going to expand on this?
I have to add a bit of romance, don't I?
Doesn't every game have it? Doesn't every Final Fantasy game have it?
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm the Tifa in this relationship.
You know, I'm totally Titus. I love going around shit.
Yeah, I'm a Yuna. I'm definitely Yuna. I love wearing, flowy dresses and things.
No, but it's just like we started talking because of cosplay, and then found that we had so many other things in common, and we've obviously got together not long after that, and it's been over a year now, and it's really great because we've met some really awesome people that I've met, cosplayers and the community that he was friends with, and he's met cosplayers that I was friends with, and it's really great because you wouldn't meet these other people otherwise, and you just might form some amazing friendships if you start cosplaying. So cosplay, guys, it's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the community is, there's a great sense of friendship in the community. So, I mean, I made some really good friends through the community. Some of them I love. I love Chris. I love Connell. I love Fraser. You guys.
Loves me too. Just saying.
Not as much as I love these guys. Both for hoes. Sorry. Sorry, shots fired.
He'll get in trouble for that later.
I will.
Yeah.
I will get hit off camera for that.
Get his butt kicked. That's for sure.
Yeah, but no, I met some amazing friends through cosplay, and that's something that's probably going to stick with me for a long time. That's why I like to introduce people to cosplay as well. Get them into it, get them making some friends, and meeting other people, some really, really cool people. So yeah,
that's cool, man. That's cool. So, who are your greatest inspirations in New Zealand as well as internationally, cosplay-wise?
Whoa. that might draw a bit of controversy because a lot of people have different opinions on what it is to be a professional cosplayer, somebody that you look up to. I mean, I have friends.
For me, I can answer some straight off the bat. My biggest inspiration in New Zealand is Chris or Team Cosplay. And my ultimate goal, what I really want to achieve as a male cosplayer, is to be like Jessica Negri. I really want a set of titties like that. So, yeah.
It's got to be one of the most original arts.
Yeah. I
feel like I can't actually do anything better than that now.
You guys cannot comment.
I wish I had boobs like Jessica Negri too.
I wish I had boobs like Jessica Negri. I wish I made money just showing my titties to everyone. Like that is amazing. Yeah.
No, we love you, Negri. She is actually awesome.
She's your wife, isn't she?
She is my waifu.
Yeah,
seriously. I mean, we've actually talked on Instagram before. She replied to my comment. Oh my god. No, but seriously, a lot of I am a weed. She is actually really cool. I used to be a little bit weary. I was like, all she does is just do revealing cosplays. But I actually started following her and stuff, and she's actually nerdy. She loves nerdy stuff, and she's really funny, and obviously, being contracted, you kind of have to do what people want.
Yep.
And that's not necessarily her decision. But she does have some amazing skills. Her craftsmanship.
And a nice set of boobs.
As well.
Yeah, that just adds to it.
No, but the craftsmanship is amazing, and I really admire that. I mean, there's other people like Lightning Cosplay, like Monica Lee, who's actually coming to Wellington Comic Con. I can't wait, and I'm entering comp, and she'll be judging that as well. So I'm really excited for that. So it's really cool, and of course there are amazing cosplayers in New Zealand as well. There's Tails Cosplay, a good friend of mine as well. Brunette Eyes Cosplay, she's amazing. And of course Chris. Can't forget Ting Cosplay.
We can't forget Ad Ladin.
Yes.
Yeah, no, there's some really talented people, and I really look up to them, and I draw inspiration from them as well, so it's really cool.
Cool. Very informed answer on Jessica Negri.
Yeah.
She's not just titties, guys.
Yes,
But they do play a big part.
For males, anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
well, for me
and
too,
as
I
my
mean-
inspiration, you know, I really want to be Jessica Negri's boobs. I want to be on walls with 13-year-old boys, you know?
Internationally.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So on that note, how do you think New Zealand cosplay stacks up against overseas?
I mean, you're putting a tiny country against every single other country in the world. That's pretty big, but I'd say definitely. I mean, Jessica Negri is from New Zealand, so guys.
Do we count that? Do we count that as our own? Is it like a Russell Crowe situation?
I was going to say, Russell
yeah.
Crowe is not, and never will be, unofficially, the
Yeah.
Jessica Negri.
Yeah, we can claim Jessica Negri.
We can claim Jessica Negri, so that's probably one of the biggest things. But there is a great level of work here. I mean, you know, we have people like the Weta Workshop people that, you know, create a lot of costumes, and I know some of them are involved with cosplay. So, you know, we do have craftsmanship that is of an international level, that's for sure. And I think that, you know, the more people that are getting into it, I mean, when I started getting into cosplay a few years ago, like, seriously, there was far less people, especially with the cosplay group, Cosplay New Zealand. There was about maybe half of the members that there are now, so people are getting more of an interest in it, you know, seeing that it's not such a weird thing anymore. So it's pretty cool because it's becoming more socially acceptable, you know, like I'll go out for photo shoots in the gardens where we are now, and you know, I actually get people who think it's really awesome, and they start taking photos as well, and it's really awesome. So
yeah, you do get the weeaboo Asians kind of.
They're kind of like, oh, kawaii! Oh my god, why do I understand this?
Yeah.
But what do you think about it? I mean,
I to be honest, I say we do stack up. There is definitely talent in New Zealand, and there's definitely a place for it. It can definitely grow. There's a lot of really, really talented people that can, you know, can really compete on like the international stage. I mean, if you're obviously comparing, say, our newbies to someone like Negri, for example, you know, it's not gonna stack up. But if
then
you start
again,
looking at the amount of cosplays some of our cosplayers turn out in a year, they're definitely up there, and they definitely stack up.
definitely.
And you know, the Negs is from New Zealand, so
Beat that.
yeah, you can't really top that.
Okay, so what was your first Armageddon, as well as your favourite Armageddon today?
First Armageddon, man, shit, that's going back a while. I think it was Auckland 2009? Yeah, it was 2009. Pretty sure it was
So he's the
2009.
Armageddon veteran, and I'm the cosplay veteran,
Yeah.
because my first Armageddon was
Man, was not prepared for that. I was not prepared for that one. I'm like,
Later.
I'm going back and I'm going, yeah.
fond
I
memories.
think it was 2009.
Think so. I think it's way back there. Mine would be, was it 2010? 2010? I think. 2010? May have been. No, I don't even remember, but yeah, when I was in school sometime. That was Hamilton. So it was one of the small ones. So that would probably explain why I didn't really get into it then as well, because obviously it was a lot smaller then. And going to Armageddon and Auckland a couple of years later, obviously a lot bigger, there were more people, more inspiration, that kind of thing, so it's really cool. But it's grown a lot. I mean, the recent Hamilton Armageddon was a very decent size.
I would like to add,
Yeah.
it's been my favourite today.
Yes,
You know,
has been as well.
There's so many
Like,
cosplayers there, and you know,
majority of people were cosplayers, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good.
it's really good atmosphere and stuff like that. There was like very little stress involved with that one. I noticed a lot
I think
of
a lot of
cosplayers seemed a lot
people,
less stress,
yeah.
so that was
They
cool.
were very chill,
Yeah.
which is good. I mean, there's a lot less pressure, obviously, with Hamilton, I think. With Wellington and like Auckland, people get very kind of like, oh my gosh, these huge cons, you know, we're going to get stressed with our costumes. A lot of people are a lot more laid back with Hamilton, I feel. And that really gives a different vibe, which is why I like it so much. So yeah, definitely one of my favourite cons today.
Yeah, it was a very relaxed one, so it was nice. There wasn't just crowds of people and you couldn't move. You
You didn't have
freedom to move.
people
You could walk
breaking
where you
your
wanted
stuff.
to.
Yeah.
You could walk where you wanted to go, you know, it was great.
Yeah. So on the big sort of city centres versus the Hamilton sort of side, do you prefer the huge expo experience, or do you like the more intimate sort of Hamilton sized?
I guess, you know, like they both have their advantages and their disadvantages. You know, I am looking forward to you know, I guess I would count Hamilton more like I count the picnics and stuff like that as a smaller event. Kind of like Overload, for example. With Auckland, though, you know, you do get a really good vibe. You get tons of pictures. You get tons of people coming.
So many people fangirling, fanboying over your stuff. Which, I mean, I remember like last time again being stuck in an intersection for about 20 minutes just because people were like, "Can I have a photo with you?" And then it was like they were lining up, and it was like, "Wow, that's you," and that's really cool. But for a more personal experience, definitely Hamilton. Picnics and things that are organised.
Yeah, if you want to get
events.
to know people and hang out with friends and stuff like that, definitely Hamilton and the picnics and stuff like that. If you want to go get photos, you want that real you know, expo experience, you would go to, say, Auckland, for example. Just, you know, if you want to buy stuff, probably Auckland.
And obviously guests and stuff, you get a lot of really huge guests going to those bigger ones. I mean, like, you get some awesome people going to the small ones as well, but I know
actually,
that...
I've got some con coming up in like a...
Oh, it's Otaku-con, which is new.
Yeah.
It's the first time. I mean, we're planning to go, so that's going to be a first for another kind of convention. Obviously, we have Overload, which is more of an artist convention.
Yeah. But it's still an excuse to cosplay.
Yeah,
and
it's still an
cosplay,
excuse
we jump
to
on every
cosplay,
excuse to cosplay. You know?
But it's really awesome that we have more of these things being organised, and it's like we've been organising a few meetups in Hamilton recently. I mean, we've organised a picnic last year and the Hamilton cosplay ball and stuff like that as well. So we really love being active, and it's not just cosplay; it's just getting to know people, you know, hanging
people
out.
with similar interests.
You know,
Yeah.
it's really cool. So there's definitely a lot of stuff going on in New Zealand if you look for it.
Yeah. With Auckland Armageddon sort of being the end of the circuit, cosplay-wise, is that where you treat it sort of, that's your costume to really bring it, or are you sort of the first sort of event of the year is where you want to come out strong sort of thing?
This year's different. This year is different. So for Wellington, it's our big guns we're pulling out.
Yeah.
Auckland's kind of like our. We got some big projects planned for next year, so that means money and time. So
Yeah.
a lot of the costumes we're doing for Auckland would just be like
Well, we've already
repeats
had-
or
yeah.
very simple things.
Just saving
So-
up money for next year, because obviously it's totally dependent on that. You know, it is a bit pricey when you really want to throw yourself into it, especially when you make.
Especially when you're a comp winner like this, you know.
Yeah.
Like that
Totally amazing.
You know,
Yeah.
I won't say I intimidated anyone,
Yeah. Well, of
or
course.
paid anyone either, but
Yeah.
Just under the
Drugs,
table. Thank you, Lee, you know. No, it's definitely totally dependent on time, totally dependent on money. So if you have more time to bring out something bigger, then that's really cool. But of course, for this, I mean, with Comic-Con going to Wellington, it was like we were like, oh, we're going to really bring out some of our best work for that. Hopefully, that's the plan anyway.
Cool. Okay. Because I know how much cosplay can affect your life, especially if you have a partner in cosplay or not. How does your partner or your family and friends view your love of cosplay?
I swear, honestly, if one more person asks us if we roleplay, I will probably shank them. Okay, I'm from Rotorua, I know how to make shanks. 5 years of boys high has taught me one thing. You stick it right above the kidney. You know? You get that in the bin ASAP.
We do not role play, just saying.
Yeah, just for
just for clarification. No, well, obviously we have no problems between us because we both do it, so it's not as weird.
Do you guys get competitive with each other cosplaying?
A little bit.
She does, not so much me. She's like, I've got to do this better. I've got to be better than that. It's like, wow, just chill. I'm the trophy. I'm the trophy husband. I'm solely there just to make her look better.
Yeah,
that's my job.
Definitely.
I don't really do anything.
Funny thing is, we've actually never done a couple cosplay, have we? I mean, we've done a shift cosplay.
Yeah.
But we have some, like, for example, our one of our plans is to do Zack and Eric from Crisis Core, which is probably one of
I'm going to be the heiress. She's actually doing Zack.
Yeah, I know. I totally love cosplaying that much.
Yeah.
Be on the lookout for that. No, but it's one of our things that we've always wanted to do. So that's us. But in terms of family and stuff, I mean, my family have been into medieval reenactment and things, so I've always been involved in costume making, especially through dance and theatre throughout my younger years, and they have as well, and they've seen me grow up with that. So cosplay was kind of just another extension from my creativity, so they weren't really weirded out. They were like, my brothers are sometimes like, is that Eszter? When they see photos of me and they're like, oh, you do suit blonde hair. And it's a bit like, oh, okay. And friends, some of them are a bit like, oh, you're really nerdy or something, and it's kind of surprising for them, especially seeing me in different environments. They don't always expect it, but I think most people are pretty good with it, and they're surprised, pleasantly surprised, I hope. But yeah.
I guess, like, you know, with my family and stuff like that, it's like, oh, okay, whatever, it's just another hobby. No different from martial arts or from any other hobby he has, really. And it's just an extension of things I pretty much used to do, you know, watching anime, growing up watching, you know, all this childhood anime that everyone watched. Yeah, or, you know, playing video games as a child, you know.
Yeah.
It's really just an add-on to that kind of thing, so it's not too weird. I guess, coming from Rotorua and with my, I guess, non-nerdy friends, or non-cosplay friends, it's a bit weird. They tend to, you know, have a lot of interesting stereotypes that they bring out, you know.
They're like, oh, you're not fat.
Or you don't have a neck beard. I personally love the neck beard one, you know, it's like, oh, yeah, it's really there, it's just, you can't see it. And I do have a fedora collection at home.
I'm a, you know, vaguely attractive female, and I do not go in Bar 101 costumes. No, I do actually do decent cosplays.
Hey, what's wrong with my Supergirl costume? Like, seriously.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Wow.
I'll give an exception for you.
Thank you.
But...
I would expect that. Yeah.
No.
Wow. I'm a cosplay model, okay? Don't even question it.
Oh, no. No, hashtag cosplay model, hashtag white girl.
Hashtag gamer girl. Thank God. But no, it's definitely, it's getting out there, and I think because it's becoming less weird amongst, you know, my friends, and I guess, you know, once you come from Rotorua, I can count the amount of cosplays in Rotorua on one hand, you know.
All that we know of anyway.
Next year.
Yeah, that's changing.
Well, actually, we've tried to start some more cosplay stuff in Rotorua, because we just found a couple of people because of Hamilton.
One who happened to be in comp as well?
Yes, she did Kiki in the comp, and that was really awesome. And then I actually found out that one of my friends I've met on Instagram was from Rotorua, and I met her at Hamilton again, and I was like, oh my goodness, you're from Rotorua, that's so cool, and we didn't even realise, so we're trying to get something started there as well.
Super cool. Yeah, because when I went to Auckland Armageddon on the Monday last year, like I was walking around the whole event, and I recognised people that I knew from seeing events, but didn't actually know.
Yeah, true.
I'm like, oh, that's Lillian, and that's Sophia Chad, and
Yeah,
of course my partner was like, what do you mean Sophia Chad? It's just from
Oh,
what are you doing? Just because she looks like that.
What are you doing, Stove? Seriously, step it up, man. Step it up. Should be Chris breaking up relationships.
Yeah, I was going to say she didn't mind at all when I was like, oh, these old teen cosplay.
Yeah.
I think she was too busy trying to wipe up the dribble from his abs, but I can understand that completely.
Yeah, I mean, he's a beautiful human being. He really is. Once again, I love you, Chris. No homo.
Okay, so have you ever made a cosplay that didn't make it to a get in your head?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We have, was it like a wardrobe full of half-finished.
I have had a costume sitting in my wardrobe for about a year and a half that is not finished. I could finish it easily, just haven't finished it yet. It's time. And also, you know, people ask you to be part of groups and things like that, and you're kind of like, oh, okay, this project that I have for myself, I'm going to push that back because I want to be part of this group with other awesome people. So, and then, you know, sometimes money runs out on you know, priorities change.
Or if you're like me, you just find something new and you're like, damn it, I want to start that. I've got that. I've got that fabric sitting right there. I'm just going to start right now. And then, you know, like a week or two later, and you're like, nah, I'm going to start something else now. So
yeah, a lot of unfinished costumes. Not meaning that we don't want to finish them, but just
at some point, we will finish them.
Yeah.
Just not now.
Okay, given given the amount of stress planning a costume can bring about, how do you deal with it, and does it make a difference to the cosplay you have in mind?
How many times have you had to counsel me late at night as I've tried to get you to model my costume because I don't know what to do?
12? At least 12. I'm going to say at least 12.
I get stressed easily.
Yeah.
Because I'm a perfectionist. Doesn't help. Doesn't help. And he's just like, no, it looks good. I'm like,
it looks great on me. Why would this be bad?
I really need to get a dress form for my costumes because...
This one-piece leotard is looking fabulous on me. Why would it look bad on you?
Yeah.
It's really accentuating my curves.
Yeah, there's a lot of that happens.
Yeah.
No, I've had some tears over costumes.
That time you went to the sewing machine across the room, wow, that was a great one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Or you know that time you threatened me with a needle, you were going to shank me with it? Yeah, that was also another good one.
Cody needs to know.
Moving right along before it gets dangerous.
Help!
Have either of you, like, both together or singly, had any bad experiences at a get-in, like, you know, your cosplay's not recognised, or interactions with general public who aren't cosplayers?
There's definitely the highs and lows. I mean, you get, for example, as a female cosplayer,
As a male cosplayer, I got the same thing, because I know where you're going with this.
This is true. As a male cosplayer as well, you can get this.
Let's not be sexist here.
No, not at all. But, you know, for example, I've cosplayed guys, very, very modest costume. I mean, Sasuke, like, up to here, down to here. You don't see a thing. Another one, Sebastian from Black Butler, full tuxedo. No, showing nothing. I've, like, bound for it, you know? Like, you can see nothing. And then I've done characters that are more revealing. It doesn't mean I want to go out there and get attention, but it's just like, I'm being canon. I admire this character. For example, Nico Robin from One Piece. She has, I think, J cups.
Yep.
Okay,
That is technically J cup.
Going from a C cup to a J cup. I mean, you need to, like, you know, just change yourself up a bit. Push up bra, you know. Like, obviously you have to be canon, but you do get comments. And I've walked past a couple of people, you know, who have said disparaging things.
Yeah.
Just because they don't
know, right?
Yeah, me and a friend of a friend of mine also did a character, and hers was maybe not as revealing as mine, but still, you know, accentuating a figure. And we did get some disparaging comments from people who were perhaps jealous or something like that, which is kind of, you know, it's funny because Renelle and I are probably like the least slutty people you would probably ever meet.
Yep.
I don't know about you, but I can definitely.
Well, you know, not like I'm in a relationship or anything, but no, but it's just like you can get people who maybe misinterpret your intentions, and that can be a little bit discouraging. But then you get so many positive comments. It doesn't matter, you know. You maybe get people who are like, you got some comments on your Lee saying that it wasn't canon. Which is funny because we had canon down to a T, but you get those people that.
And you know, you don't want to get kicked out for punching them.
Yeah.
Even though you know you want to be canon with your character, so you're like, well, I should punch you, but no.
No, but like it really, the positive comments outweigh the negatives, definitely. You know, and wherever you go, there's thousands of people to go through a con of course and get a negative comment.
Yeah.
Like,
you know,
I would be worried if I didn't get a negative comment. You know.
I think that's part of it, is that you take the good with the bad. You know, you just roll with it.
Definitely.
For every negative comment you get, you probably get 5 or 6 good ones. So
yeah, why worry about it?
Why focus on the negatives? But
and you know, that can happen within the community as well, that sometimes someone's not quite happy with how you've done a cosplay or something, and I mean, you know, that's their opinion, but the thing is that there's so much positivity anyway, that it's just like, why would you worry about that, you know? Some people get a little bit, some cosplayers get insecure because they're like, oh, you know, someone didn't quite approve of that or whatever. I'm like, hey, you know what? Screw them, you know? They can be happy with what they're doing. They don't need to worry about you.
Yep.
And you can just continue and do what you love. And if you enjoy it, then that's all that matters, really.
That's cosplay.
Definitely.
Okay, so how much do you like to embody the character, and is your cosplaying all about becoming the character?
to a point.
There's a line.
There's a line.
There's a
line. There's definitely a line of like what is socially acceptable or not. For example, I guess for me, you know, I tend to get quite into character when people ask for photos, for posing, things like that.
Definitely, yeah.
But when I'm hanging with my friends, it's just me. You know?
Yeah, that awkward moment when you're at con and somebody asks for a photo and you're like, I've got my mouth full of food.
I paid $14 for these nachos. I'm gonna eat these nachos, man.
I've taken like my gloves off, you know, my mask off, and it's like, you know, okay, let me get myself back together again. But obviously you're not going to be in, well, like we don't really get into character the whole time. Obviously for photos, when you're kind of, you know, being in character around crowds of people, you give a bit of a show,
yeah.
I think, you know, and I think everyone does that to a certain extent. And I mean, you know, I find it pretty natural to kind of get into character, so it's fun, and I think that's what's so good about knowing your character as well. And I really like knowing the character I'm cosplaying, because that means that I can really portray it. And it's so cool, especially when you see little kids and they're like, oh my gosh, you're this character, and then you know, you act in that way and they actually think that it's the character. And I remember, oh gosh, I felt so bad at Hamilton Armageddon when I was doing Sasuke. I did battle damage Sasuke, so I had this bandage on my leg with fake blood all over it. And I managed to convince my friend's little child that it was actually a real wound. I was like, she was like looking at me, you know, like terrified because I had this blood on my leg. I was like, yeah, it's really painful, you know. And she was like, and I was like, it's not real. She's like, no, surely it is real. And I had to take it off and show her that it wasn't actually real.
That makes a big difference. See, I would play that out. I would terrify that child.
I can see him doing
I would terrify that child.
There's a point, obviously, but it is really cool, especially when you see people, you know, just, they absolutely tripping it because you are that character, and it's really cool to see the smile on their faces. All the terrified glances in some cases.
Yeah. Like when you're making out with Naruto.
You know.
And the parents are just like, avert your eyes, children! Avert your eyes!
There has to be some fences sometimes.
Bring your children to a con, don't expect niceness all the time.
This is true, this is true.
Okay, so what was your favourite cosplay so far? Either yours or someone else's? Or both?
Ones that we plan to do, there's a lot of favourites. Like, we have some big plans for some of our favourite cosplays that we kind of like, oh, we really need to put time into. What we've done so far, what would you...
My favourite? It's Lee. It's that green jumpsuit, it's the orange leg warmers, it's the fact that
it's the
fact that everything's exposed and it's around child height and parents are like, children, move away from the man in the green jumpsuit. It's like, it's right at their head and, you know. Also, Mason, I hate you for grabbing that. I will punch you the next time I see you.
And that bowl haircut.
And that bowl haircut, yeah.
Really attractive.
I thought that the guys doing a Vodafone ad were in town or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God, he's in an ad.
Actually, I may as well just become an extra for that.
I know, exactly. I love all the cosplays I've done, but probably my favourite one to date would be Yuna.
My favourite too.
Yes, Yuna from Final Fantasy X too. So I really enjoyed that, and that was a funny story actually because I'd been planning it for a while, but my friend was actually selling it. She's a couple of sizes bigger